Test, 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 test. Coming to you live from the rinks in Hauppauge, you're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. Ryan Brannigan joined alongside our cameraman for this evening, Wally Mitchell. Couple of JV games on this Sunday afternoon on the slate. Starting up with St. Anthony JV Black taking on East Islip. East Islip recently defeated St. Anthony JV Black's brother team in St. Anthony JV Gold by a score of 3-2 back on January 26th. It is the final game of the regular season for East Islip. Sorry about that. As I was saying, final game of the regular season for East Islip. They are in 5th place. However, they can climb their way into 4th place. It wouldn't necessarily change their first round matchup. They would still play against Longwood. But they could potentially harm the seeding of St. Anthony JV Black. It is their last game of the regular season as well. 17-1-1 on the year are the Friars, and they are tied for first place with Smithtown Hauppauge JV Red, each with 35 points, identical 17-1-1 records. So Smithtown Hauppauge JV Red certainly would be rooting for East Islip tonight. And keep in mind, St. Anthony JV Black, if all things stay the same, which they will for whoever is the 1 seed, they will play Sachem in the first round. Sachem defeated St. Anthony JV Black earlier this season. So probably not an ideal matchup in the first round for the Friars. One that they would like to potentially avoid, as we're going to step aside for the anthem and lineups here on LI Sports Network. And that is the conclusion of the national anthem, as we're almost set for puck drop on this Sunday evening, live from the rinks in Hauppauge on LI Sports Network. Some players who had some excellent years this year to highlight on both sides. Andrew Savalos, despite only playing 14 games this year, leads the Friars JV Black team in points with 13 goals, 17 assists. One behind him is Nicholas Lawler. Lawler, with 29 points, leads the team in goals with 16. Over on the East Islip side of things, EI, led by Colin Inga. Inga, 24 goals in 18 games played for the Chiefs. Blaschuk and Kyle Kearney close behind with 32 and 26 points respectively. as we're ready for puck drop here on LI Sports Network. Friars, Chiefs. And we're underway. Opening possession for EI. They'll send it into the zone. Poked right back into neutral ice where it's settled down by Friesen. Backhanded on by Kyle Kearney. Starting goaltenders tonight. Brandon Huber in between the pipes for St. Anne's, as no shot came on goal that time from East Islip's Matt Friesen. Puts it right back in as the Chiefs touch up. 30 seconds gone in this first period. Friars looking to establish their first offensive zone possession. Friesen going to work, battling the forecheck of Savalos. Matt Friesen will backhand flip, generate the rush the other way for East Islip. Kearney has it come off his stick and it's settled down by Palladino. Palladino gives it right back to East Islip. Inga, good lead pass to Kearney. Potential rush here. Kearney backhands across, just out of the reach of Harrison. Good look there for East Islip early in this first period. Now a turnover. Chance Savalos walks, shoots, and a save made. And the puck ends up out of play. Impressive first save of the game from Travis Martin. Travis Martin making just his second start in an East Islip uniform this season. Sasso had been their number one throughout the year. 2.8 goals against average, 9-4, 1-2 record for Sasso. However, he is not in the lineup tonight. It is Travis Martin in just his second start this season for East Islip. LaRue, great pass. Harrison by himself shoots. Shut down by Huber. Poked away on the rebound as well by Colin Huber. East Islip still pressing. Harrison. Back here, Kai Kelly, a shot off the skate in front of Alec Giacoppi. Harrison. 2 minutes gone by in the first period. Still no score between the Friars and East Islip. Put right back in by Justin Lemaire. He's out there with number 44, Andrew Lemaire. Siblings on the same team here for East Islip is walking down the wall, playing it behind the net. Giacoppi unable to find a teammate and unable to hold in on the far point was Gianluca Trezera. Trezera had it poked away from him by Bogorowski. Justin Bogorowski making the jump from the DVL all the way up to JV this season. Brought in the zone with some pace by Darby. Darby settles. Darby swept it across. Backdoor, they score! What a play! Patrick Darby set it up so that all that Camastro had to do was tap it in, and that's what he does. 1-0 St. Anne's. Or pardon me, that's not Camastro. That's 62. That's Michael Rainey. So Michael Rainey opens the scoring for St. Anne's. Rainey this season, his fourth of the year. Friars come right back in with speed. Aspromonte trying to go to the outside, or pardon me, that's Robert Lano trying to go to the outside, the captain of the St. Anthony JV Black team. Wristed at the point, save made by Martin. Rebound corralled by Camastro out there with Rainey. Banked off the near boards into the Friars' end. Palladino retrieves. 1-0 St. Anne's, approaching 4 minutes gone by here in the first period. Weaving through neutral ice, Daniel Munch. Munch, formerly of KPC, Backhands it down the boards. Matthew fries him. Sends around. That's Aspromonte there to play it right back in deep for St. Anne's. East Islip having a difficult time clearing. Inga now to Kearney. Top unit out for the Chiefs. Inga trying to cut middle. Good defense provided by Palladino. Blaschuk on the follow-up, unable to get possession away. And Munch goes to himself. A little help from his teammate Aspromonte. Daniel Munch dumps in. Corralled in the far corner by Savalos. Point shot deflected. Came off the stick of Leno. Now Darby, a wrister, kicked out by Martin. Blaschuk to himself off the boards. Blaschuk trying to get a step, coming over, making a good defensive play. Anthony Aspromonte comes down and around for Patrick Darby. Darby involved in a scrum in the near corner as we approach 5 gone by. Skated out by Darby, put to the front of the net, swept on by Savalos, and there to make the save is Martin. Nine minutes, 46 seconds remain in this first period. JV season finale between St. Anthony JV Black and East Islip. EI will play Longwood in the first round of the playoffs, while St. Anne's opponent still yet to be determined. But they have a potential to be the 1 seed. Harrison goes down the boards. Looking to make a play from down low. It's stripped of the puck. Good defense provided by Alec Giacopi. He clears. Kai Kelly retrieves. Great receive off the boards here by Darby. Darby trying to feed McCormick. McCormick couldn't quite get a shot through, and it's banked out of the zone by East Islip. Back with Gavin McCormick. He'll rim in. Martin out to stop it in behind. Kai Kelly with his East Islip Chiefs trailing by 1. Poked right back into the zone. East Islip, in their prior meeting with St. Anne's JV Black, defeated St. Anthony JV Black 7-1 on November the 12th. One of the more surprising results this season in the JV level. The only loss St. Anthony's has received in regulation this season. St. Anthony JV Black, that is. Of course, as I mentioned, their counterpart team, St. Anthony JV Gold, also fell to East Islip 3-2 recently. Chiefs trying to clear. It's back with Justin Lemaire. Not out. Long shot sticked away by Martin. Again to the line. Palladino holds in, but now he lets the puck come out. Osimo carrying in for EI. And Munch takes over the puck. One hand on his stick. Speeds around the net on the backhand. Now through neutral ice. Daniel Munch cutting in. Good defensive stick provided by Justin Lemaire. Back with Munch. His shot blocked. Bogorowski came over in the area. Osimo trying to get it out. Munch still doing a great job on the forecheck. Keeps the play alive. Matthew fries him off the glass and now to neutral. Munch over for Rainey, and Rainey dumps in. The lone goal scorer tonight for St. Anne's. The reason they lead it by 1, his 4th of the year. Fries him engaged in a board battle near side. Osimo there as well. Trying to make a play on Leno. And now play still alive here for Leno. The shot dribbles wide. Fries him back with it. 6:50 to go first period. East Islip clear. Blaschuk, a little drop for Bogorowski. Incoming a shot from Leno is stopped and covered by Martin. 6 minutes, 34 seconds to go here in the first period. 1-0 St. Anne's leading East Islip. You're listening Tuned in here to LI Sports Network. Off the draw. Played to the right wing side for Blaschuk. Blaschuk trying to go back to his defenseman, Reynolds. Didn't quite put enough touch on the puck. Taken back by the Friars. Savalas trying to feed the front. Darby sweeps it on over to his partner. There's a wrist shot, got through, and a save made with the blocker by Martin. East Islip having a hard time once again clearing the zone. Emmett Reynolds with a check, as well as Kyle Kearney, as they go to work on Nicholas Lawler. Eventually the puck kicks free. And Lawler and Reynolds were going at it in that far corner, eventually resulting in the stoppage of play. 5:54 to go in the first period. So I mentioned East Islip 3-2 winners against St. Anthony JV Gold and JV Black. JV Gold on February the 9th. 7-1 win against JV Black November 12th. St. Anthony JV Gold beat them earlier this year, 2-1. But otherwise, I'm not sure any team has a better record against the Friars 2 teams this season than do East Islip. 2 perennial contending forces at all levels and deep pipelines for St. Anthony's and for East Islip. And the varsity season did not go the way, at least in the playoffs, definitely did not go the way East Islip had imagined it in a first-round matchup against Northport Huntington. Looked like a 50-50 of who would be the winner of that game prior to it starting, and Northport Huntington ran away with it. Here's Savalos, 2-on-1 developing. Savalos with the backhand across, just out of the reach. Savalos trying to get it to Darby. Now potential lineman rush the other way. Inga got knocked down by Munch, and Darby takes over. Watched by Kyle Kearney. Munch evades Blaschuk. Carries over the line. 3 Chiefs are back. Nice move. Munch, and the shot turned away, up into the air, and it stays out. And it's a goal! No, it didn't stay out. It's a gorgeous goal for Daniel Munch. Unbelievable. Watch this shot off and up and up, and I think it's kept down here, and there's no sight of it, and uh-oh. It's in the back of the net. Uh-oh for Martin and company. Not necessarily how you fully draw it up for Daniel Munch, but he'll absolutely take it, and did an excellent job knifing through the defense to set up the goal in the first place. One for the highlight reel for Daniel Munch, his 9th of the year, now up to 11th points with the Friars, and they lead it by 2 over midway through this first period. Under 5 to play. It's Friesen. Try to work it across to Justin Lemaire. His pass doesn't connect. Munch will back one right back to Friesen. Friesen pressured by Giacoppi. Or pardon me. It is, I believe that is Giacoppi's. Listed as 26. Been playing at number 26 all season. Today is number 22. A number change for Alec Giacoppi. I always knew him as 26. Even listed on the roster as 26. Tonight, 22. He'll win the face-off back. Settled down by Trezera. Eventually comes out of the zone. Darby. Got a beautiful setup on the first goal of the game, scored by Michael Rainey. Daniel Munch following suit has given St. Anthony's a 2-0 lead. McCormick, a shot nearly leaked behind the goaltender for East Islip tonight, and Martin. But Travis Martin able to cover up before puck could even come close to crossing the line there. But really from the halfway point on in this first period, St. Anthony's has had the better of play over East Islip. Face off to the right of Travis Martin. Bogorowski wins the defensive zone draw. Justin Lemaire fires off the glass, and it skips past the skate of Trezera. So Brandon Huber out to stop it. Lead pass hits. It's intended target Leno. Leno gonna knife his way around Friesen. Friesen does a good job to box out Leno, but Leno lifting the stick, takes the puck back, fans on the pass back, takes a shot, save made. Martin off the boards. Osimo can't clear. Darby carries to the outside, centers one. It's rejected from in front. And now puck comes back all the way down and out. Not enough for icing. Daniel Munch takes over. Taken away, and centering pass across was behind Osimo. Darby now flying in the zone with speed. Darby to the backhand. Darby put it across. Camastro takes over but couldn't get a shot. Camastro sandwiched in between the boards and a couple of East Islip Chiefs. Puck still remains in the zone thanks in large part to the play of Michael Rainey. Pushed around by Brian Friesen, number 11. And again, dies before icing. Munch. Speed through neutral ice. Bobbing and weaving around a couple of East Islip sticks to the backhand. Munch to the forehand over the net. Nearly another highlight reel goal for Daniel Munch. You know, he and Inga come together and both go down to the ice. Blaschuk trying to get by Palladino, could not. Banks went along. Kai Kelly spears it ahead for Kearney. Now Blaschuk flips it into the zone. Kyle Kearney first on it, going to work on Munch. 1:36 to go here in the first period. Friars leading the Chiefs 2-0. Brian Friesen holds in, puts it to the front of the net. Kearney couldn't spin it on goal. Friars trying to clear. Palladino skates it out for ultimately running into Kelly, who took it off his stick and dumps in. Puck behind the net. Good forecheck here for East Islip in the final 70 seconds of the first period. Scrum near boards. Kai Kelly trying to keep it in. Lawler able to clear. Brian Friesen shoved to the ice by Savalos. Lead pass connecting with Lawler. Lawler unable to get around Kelly. Kelly, great job defensively on one of the Friars' most lethal offensive players, Nicholas Lawler. Lawler's got it back here, though. A little flip into an area in front. Sprawling out, diving to make the stop was Travis Martin. Final 37 seconds. Kearney try to backhands it up the middle. It's held in by Trezera. Long shot deflected just wide. Final 25 of the first. Kearney skates it ahead with Andrew Lemaire. Lemaire back to Reynolds. Returns it to Lemaire. 10 seconds to go in the first. Reynolds tries to flip one to Kearney. Kearney boxed out of the play by Darby, and we come to the end of one here at the rinks in Hauppauge. 2-0. St. Anthony's leading East Islip after one. You're listening and tuned in to LI Sports Network. Brian Brannigan, Suffolk County High School Hockey League action. Second period picking up in just a moment. Stick with us here on LISN. Second period set to get underway shortly. 2-0 St. Anthony's JV Black leading East Islip after 1. Again, no matter if EI win or lose, they'll either be the 4 or 5 seed and have a first-round matchup against Longwood. However, the fate of the Friars remains undetermined, as a loss opens the door. Even just 1 point tonight opens the door. A loss in any fashion creates the possibility that Smithtown Hauppauge JV Red would be the #1 seed. Inga darting after the loose puck, slowed up by Daniel Munch, who did a great job to hustle back. Now Kearney, 45 seconds in, played to the front of the net and all the way out. Reynolds back with it. Emmett Reynolds for Kyle Kearney. Osimo dumped in. Munch backhands around where it's played by Ty Shimkus. Shimkus, formerly of Middle Country. Moves it over to Munch. Taken away by Osimo. Osimo looking to charge to the front of the net. Or pardon me, that was Bruzzo trying to charge to the front of the net. Osimo played it near side. Reynolds keeps it alive in the zone. Ty Shimkus spinning away from the forecheck of Osimo. Finds the open man of Ryan Welter. And Giacoppi chips it ahead, where it's taken over by Reynolds. Emmett Reynolds finds Friesen. Matthew Friesen looking to retrieve the puck in behind the goal line near the end boards. Ushered away by Palladino. Good cross-ice feed, connects with Rainey. Michael Rainey, his pass blocked by Justin Lemaire, and Lemaire takes over the puck. Chips it on for Bruzzo. Darby will be the first one to get it for St. Anthony's. Palladino. Cross ice, off the bank. It's Rainey. Rainey with Leno into the zone, and whistle stops play for offsides. A little over 2 minutes into this second period. Goals thus far in the game belong to Daniel Munch and Michael Rainey. St. Anthony's the 2-0 lead. Puck in behind, now kicks free. Palladino looking to hold in. Harrison trying to force it out with LaRue. Harrison back with it. And Harrison will back his way into the zone. Plays it across off a couple sticks. Handled by Camastro. Battling Luke LaRue. Camastro, Palladino. Harrison intercepts. Tries to feed the front of the net. Went off a stick in the air and in the feet of Matthew Friesen. Now Camastro with Leno. Camastro cutting wide and ran out of runway. Great defense provided by Justin Lemaire. Trezara down the boards for Leno. His centering feed blocked. Justin Lemaire flips it off the glass and back to center. Friars trying to end the season on a 5-game win streak with the win tonight. There's a great pass. Chance for Lawler. Turned away by Travis Martin. Great look there for Nicholas Lawler. As I mentioned, one of the better goal scorers in the entire JV level, let alone the Friars themselves. Gianluca Trezara can't keep it in. Now potential rush the other way. Andrew Lemaire. Shimkus gets there first. Shimkus puts the brakes. Able to get around the forechecking Lemaire. Now plays it ahead for Lawler. Offsides are the Friars. Savalos must touch up with Aspromonte. Plenty of time for EI to break out. And they will lead past the Friesen. Shoulder to shoulder check delivered. At least it looked like that to me. But a roughing penalty will be assessed to Nicholas Lawler. Catching too much of the head area. On Friesen there. So a power play for East Islip and a chance to not only score their first goal of the game, but in the process, cut the Friars' lead in half. Generate some momentum here in this second period. The East Islip power play this season, 30.8% against a 74% penalty kill for St. Anthony's. It starts with an East Islip face-off win and control in the zone. Blaschuk chips one wide. Kearney retrieves. Kyle Kearney to the point. Fries him across to LaRue. Luke LaRue. Blaschuk back to LaRue. And LaRue lost it. Great defensive play from Anthony Aspromonte, and Savalos on his horse to put pressure on Travis Martin, who passes one while it lacked in pace. It was good in accuracy in playing it away from the incoming Friars penalty killers. Kearney off a good feed from Matthew Friesen. Tries to cut through center of the ice. He's shielded off, and it's fired all the way down ice by the Friars. As we approach a minute gone by in the power play. First of the game for either team. Friesen unable to get around Munch. Munch starts his way up ice. Good poke check by Blaschuk. Friesen looking to get it back from Munch. 45 seconds to go on the East Islip power play. Knocked down by Blaschuk. Feeds the point. Nobody's there. Now Savalos jets into the zone. Savalos drags, shoots. Blocker save made by Martin. Kearney will flip in the direction of Matthew Friesen. Backhands in. Munch takes over, fires one off the glass and right back to center ice and all the way down. Just 13 seconds left on the East Islip power play as Kearney plays it ahead for Inga. Cut off beautifully by Munch, who fires it right back down. Takes a weird carom, went through the crease area. No harm, no foul for Travis Martin as we're back to 5-on-5. EI 0 for 1 on the power play, 1 for 1 on the kill to Friars. Kearney steps through a couple of sticks, but ultimately couldn't get through any more. It's poked off his stick. McCormick the other way will fire it around. Giacoppi flutters over, and now Darby emerges out of the mess with the puck. Darby charging to the net, save made by Martin, and he'll cover. Eight minutes to go, second period. Still 2-0 Friars here on LI Sports Network. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in to our coverage of the Suffolk County High School Hockey League JV playoffs right around the corner. And they can be found live and only here on LI Sports Network. Also follow us on social media at LI Sports Network. Want to congratulate the Farmingdale State D3 or M3 Rams on winning the Empire Conference as they defeated Fordham earlier today in a game at the Long Beach Arena. Rams, obviously one of the teams we cover, have a ton of former Suffolk County High School Hockey League players. The M2 team with a former East Islip Chief and Thomas Ivers, as that shot blocked. Fearless block there from Bogorowski. Justin Lemaire backhands it to the line. Held in by Giacoppi. Plays it right back on goal where it's gloved and held. Travis Martin again making his second start in a Chiefs uniform this season. Sasso has had the lion's share of the starts. Andrew Lemaire making an emergency start in net as well for East Islip this season. Blaschuk hands it on back to Reynolds. Reynolds, left wing boards. Angles one into the zone. Inga aggressive on the forecheck with Ty Shimkus. They battle in behind the net. Inga emerges with the puck. Backhanded out in front. Nobody home. Reynolds rims back around. Kearney trying to get it over to Blaschuk. Blaschuk goes down to the ice. Trying to charge to the front of the net. Kyle Kearney. Inga also there, but Daniel Munch emerges with the puck. Carries in behind. Fans on the clearing attempt. East Islip keep it in the zone for now. Rainey trying to exit. Good play by Blaschuk to get it back to Kearney. Long shift here for everyone out on the ice. So we're under 6 minutes to go here in the second period. Still 2-0 Friars. And a good play by Reynolds. Now with an odd-man rush for EI. Reynolds with Inga and Kearney. 3-on-2. The shot goes wide from Reynolds. Retrieves the puck in behind. Reynolds fed it out in front. Inga couldn't get a shot through. It's a good block by Ty Shimkus. Rainey to Camastro. Went by his stick. Handled by Brian Friesen. Hits Inga. Inga had Kearney with him and still has it with him. Playing to center it. Good sticks from Daniel Munch. Off the glass, down ice. This will be an icing against St. Anthony's. So good last couple of minutes for the East Islip Chiefs as they trail 2-0 to St. Anthony's. Putting pressure, but ultimately not quite getting the shots on goal toward Brandon Huber. Huber, who enters tonight with a 1.82 goals against average and perfect 8-0 record this season, sharing the net with Chris Urso. For what it's worth, Urso 8-1 record is part of that loss to East Islip. They score! What a pass! Darby the finish. St. Anne's make it 3-0. This is just beautiful hockey. Savalos will cut wide. Beautiful move to get around the defender. Creates the odd man situation, going back door and say no more. Patrick Darby. His second point tonight. Now has a goal and an assist. Darby this year, scoring his 10th of the season, has only played 11 games. Certainly been a difference maker for the black and gold. East Islip still trying to muster up a response. They came close just prior. I mentioned how well they were playing despite not having many shots on goal. They were doing a great job in terms of territorial advantage, but just like that, one great individual effort from Savalos and Darby later, and they're down by 3. To the front of the net, Harrison turned away by Huber. Great look, point blank for Harrison. It would not be. Puck back out to neutral ice. Robert Harrison, 12 points, 8 goals through 18 games played for the JV team this season. Really would have liked goal number 9. Took the puck away and attempted to dump in, instead taken by Shimkus. Shimkus pass intercepted by Friesen. Friesen, great job off the change to stay onside there by Bruzzo. This is put to the front of the net off a skate. Friesen lost it in the corner to Aspromonte. Aspromonte, good clean hit, dished out by Bruzzo, knocked him to the ice. Now Blaschuk takes a accidentally on purpose hit from Lawler. Savalos once again looking to dangle on the near boards. Puck comes out of the zone. Trezera puts it across. Lawler gets to it. 3:10 to go here in the second period. It's 3-0 Friars here on LI Sports Network. Savalos forced wide by Friesen. Justin Lemaire steps over, hits Osimo. Swinging, attempted clear by Bogorowski. He'll try to punch it out of the zone. Cannot. Here's Giacoppi, poked away from him. Welter in open space. Couple of East Islip sticks converge, and finally it's banked to neutral ice. 2:40 to go in the second. Welter challenged by Bogorowski and Osimo. Rink wide for McCormick, plays it back to Gianluca Trezera. 2:20 to go, second period. Lone goal of the period was just scored by Darby. Savalos the assist. Nice move here from Munch, the second goal scorer of the night for the Friars. Put it between the legs of Welter, and now a flip out of the zone. Here's Osimo with Blaschuk. Osimo lost it. McCormick with speed, takes the shot, blocker save made by Martin. Welter in the near corner. Backhands around. Brian fries him, now helped out by Osimo. It's held in at the far point by Munch, now brought around. Here's Palladino near point. Takes the shot, sticked away by Martin. Giacoppi applying the forecheck on Friesen. Back up to the point. Good pass by Munch. Palladino calls for it, gets it, wrists it. Blocker save made by Martin. Off the end boards. Trying to feed the front of the net. Giacoppi was closed off. Now another chance for Welter. Good defense provided by Justin Lemaire. Justin Lemaire and Welter engaged in a bit of a stick battle behind the play as back come the Friars and Daniel Munch. Munch, a little drag. Good defense from Blaschuk. The junior Islander with a good defensive play there. As here's a chance for Palladino. Swallowed up by Travis Martin. With 40 seconds to go here in the second period. Face off to the right of Martin. Cleared out by Blaschuk. Blaschuk along the ice. Good save made by Huber. Rebound, Inga. Try to get it back to the point. Instead, here come the Friars. And it's Leno with Rainey. Reynolds slightly over skating. Played into the near boards. Shimkus keeps it alive for the Friars. Final 10 seconds. They have another in them. Darby feeds it out in front. Good stick by Reynolds. Defensively for East Islip is how we close out this second period. Another goal for St. Anne's. They extend their 2-0 lead to 3. It's 3-0 after 2 with the third period coming up shortly. Here live and only on LI Sports Network. Welcome back. LI Sports Network's coverage of the Suffolk County High School Hockey League. Third period just getting underway between the Friars and East Islip Chiefs. East Islip locked into their first round matchup, whether it be the 4 or the 5 seed they play Longwood. St. Anthony's, well, they're trying to lock up the first overall seed. They cannot do so if they lose or tie or lose in overtime. They can if they win. And they are 3-0. Successfully getting revenge on a loss, their worst of the season. Their only one in regulation, 7-1 back on November the 12th. In that game for East Islip, they were led by Kyle Kearney, who had 4 points, 2 goals, 2 assists. Inga had 2 goals and an assist. Neither of those players. A great save made by Martin. Rebound, he got that too. Why not? Travis Martin making his best stops of the night. Keeping EI within 3. To the front of the net. Shimkus gets knocked down. Comes back to the point. Lawler, who intercepted a one-timer from Munch, backhanded it to Munch. Munch walks in. Munch takes a shot, and it's somewhere underneath Travis Martin. The fascinating part about that loss for St. Anne's is that they pretty much had the same lineup they have today. They did not have Patrick Darby, who has 2 points in this game. Savalos was held off the score sheet. Some of their other top scorers, Lawler, in that game didn't record a point. Took 2 penalties as well. He's taken one tonight, the only penalty of the game. There's a great toe save made by Huber. But there's another big difference. Urso was the goaltender. And he allowed 7 goals. Here's a chance here. Yeah, backhand shot tonight. Rebound, Inga from his knees. It went wide. Great looks for East Islip to get on the board. That deflected wide off the stick of Colin Inga as well. He's first on it in the corner. Centers one all the way through to Kai Kelly. A drive blocked. Big block from Ryan Welter. Kelly again in the near corner. Centers blocked. Comes up the near boards. And now out to center. Kearney plugging it right back ahead with Blashuk. The top line for EI. Gets some more scoring chances, but still nothing to show for it. As Brandon Huber remains unsmirched. Blashuk flipped one right off of the defender Trezera. Gonna dice his way through that time was Leno. Here is Welter. Cross to Camastro. Three minutes into the game. Or into the third period, rather. 3-0. St. Anne's still with their lead. Taken back by Shimkus. Shimkus, the little spin cut off the boards. Trezera cutting middle, lost it to Kelly. Now rush up the other way for EI. And a great pass leads Osimo in. Osimo shoots. Glove save made by Huber. Great pass by Kai Kelly to spring forward. Osimo couldn't find the back of the net. Osimo this season, 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 points. Would have been a great time for goal 4. Would not be the case. Here's Shimkus. Shimkus. Cross to Camastro. His pass to the front of the net. Defended well. Justin Lemaire battling Rainey in front. Rainey's got it. Plugs it near side. Osimo, it's between the legs of Leno. Leno keeps it alive in the offensive zone. Now back with Michael Rainey. He'll flip it up and around. Camastro, wrist shot blocked Good block by Bogorowski. Camastro from the high slot. His shot partially blocked and now covered by Travis Martin. .10:23 left to go in regulation time. Friars with the 3-0 lead. Looking for their 18th win of the season. Just 11 wins this year for East Islip. But 1 tie and 2 overtime losses, helping them get the points they need to separate themselves from 10-win West Islip to the point where they don't even have to worry about dropping to the 7 or 6 seed. Same for KPC, who are the number 6 spot. However, they will be the 6th spot. They're locked in. 2 points clear of West Islip. West Islip, who really just struggled to win games a season ago, making the playoffs. Quite the accomplishment at the JV level, even if their season started off very promising and didn't end well. There's Lawler in front on the backhand. He scores. 4-0 St. Anthony's. And for Nicholas Lawler, his 17th goal of the season. Should put this one away for the Friars. Palladino put it into the zone. No icing here. Is waved off. Blaschuk springs Kearney ahead. Joined by Colin Inga. Near side. Trying to get it to Inga. Was blocked by Daniel Munch. There is a notable player in that first matchup that wasn't here. Pardon me, Daniel Munch had the only goal, I should say. I was referring to Darby, but Daniel Munch had that only goal against East Islip in their prior meeting. Face-off one, shot blocked. And then diving down to the ice was Matthew Friesem. Inga right back in for EI. Looking to just get one goal, try to generate some momentum. It's been a frustrating night so far for the Chiefs. Thanks in large part to the great defensive play and goaltending of the Friars. And Brandon Huber has a chance down low. Huber the save. Rebound the save as well. He made another. Oh my, Brandon Huber. How do you do? Look at these saves. Kearney point blank. No, I'm reaching out the left. I got the rebound too. How about another for good measure? Best saves of the night for my money's worth of either goaltender. And East Islip get a power play out of it. It's their second look on the power play this game. Mentioned this year, 30.8% on the power play, a 71.4% penalty kill for St. Anne's. One back to Justin Lemaire. Had some good looks on their first power play, but nothing to show for it. As Kai Kelly goes around for Colin Inga. Inga. Bogorowski back to Kai Kelly. Flicks it rink wide off the boards. Harrison trying to navigate to it. Lemaire Pinches in, backhands it back to Harrison. Pressured by Darby. Justin Lemaire across, they score! Colin Inga on a great feed to the front of the net, and that's a Chiefs power play goal. 4-1, they trail by 3 again. How about that pass from Justin Lemaire onto the tape of Colin Inga, who buries it, his 25th goal of the season. One of the leaders in goals in the entire JV division, Colin Inga. Can he provide the spark EI needs to get back into this game with 8 minutes to go in the third period? Aspromonte on the backhand. Good defense provided by Justin Lemaire. Darby. Top of the zone, now Lawler, wrister, save made, Martin, rebound available in the crease, fired out by Luke LaRue. Lawler tied up with Andrew Lemaire, now Harrison makes a good play to get possession. Harrison centering pass, blocked by Trezera. Kelly could not keep it in the zone that time. EI touch up. Here's Patrick Darby. LaRue trying to strip him of the puck. Good pokes from LaRue. Now Trezera fires it off the glove of Andrew Lemaire. Picked up by Lawler. Full steam ahead for Nicholas Lawler. Near circle. Carries around the net, Lawler. Drops it. Backhanded down the boards. And around. Daniel Munch battling Andrew Lemaire, helped out by Darby. Savalos. Aspromonte. Lawler, a shot blocker save made by Martin. And fire it out of the zone by Andrew Lemaire. Quick reset, right back come the Friars. Lawler, shot blocked by Justin Lemaire. Kearney pushed it around. Here's Savalos. Savalos dances through. Now Munch centers. Couldn't quite find this tape of Aspromonte. Savalos again. Great stick handling, great moves here from Andrew Savalos. Find Shimkus. Shimkus, wrister, fought off by Martin, and another shot toward the East Islip goaltender. Steered away. Now Blaschuk. Outlets to Kelly. Kelly looking to return it near side. Inga got behind Munch. Inga on the backhand. Good recovery for Daniel Munch. Still it is Colin Inga. His centering pass off a stick. Lawler steps to it. Picked up with speed and neutralized McCormick. McCormick a little inside outside, but with him every stride of the way with defensively was Friesen. Matthew Friesen. Under 5 to play in the third period. And now a stoppage. And I believe a penalty is going to be called against St. Anthony's. So going right back to the power play. As soon as I realized the power play icon is still up for EI, I had just taken it off. They go right back to the power play. A bench minor for too many players on the ice. Assessed to St. Anthony's. Giacoppi is serving it. Does not get any penalty minutes attached to him for the infraction. That's why it's listed as 0-0 on the scoreboard here at the rinks. But fresh off their opening goal of the game being a power play goal, still a lot of miscommunication coming from the Friars benches. It's a revolving door of players coming out and onto the ice as they try to get their penalty killing units squared away. Eventually they do, and they clear it off the face-off win by Ryan Welter, and that I believe was his only duty as he goes right to the bench Outsteps Savalos, wreaking havoc in the offensive zone as Andrew Lemaire's pass rather, intercepted and cleared right back down in the East Islip end. Again, they're 1 for 2 on the power play tonight. 30.8% on the season. Palladino, 40 seconds already gone by on this EI power play. Luke LaRue stands up Savalos at the line, gets it to Harrison. Harrison, little shimmy shake. Blaschuk has it knocked from his stick. LaRue down the near boards. Centering pass out of the reach of Blaschuk. Savalos trying to bank it to himself past LaRue. Overskated, taken back by Chris Blaschuk. It's Kearney in stride. Kearney a little drag. Beautiful move. Kearney the shot turned away by Huber. Fabulous toe drag from Kyle Kearney. But stopping the highlight reel goal, Brandon Huber of the Friars. And a stellar glove save at that. So with 50 seconds left on the power play for EI, their third tonight. The offensive zone draw, Harrison. Battling Trezera, it's cleared out. Great play from the captain, Nicholas Lawler. He and Leno, co-captains, but both wearing the C. Rainey with the A. Shimkus backhands it into neutral ice. Kai Kelly to Harrison. Harrison trying to go to himself down the near board. Shimkus hovered over. Shimkus sends around. Got it to Lawler, and Lawler clears. 2 seconds and 1, and that will do it for the third East Islip power play of the game. They are 1 for 3. 2 for 3 are the kill of the Friars. And for East Islip, down by 3. Really start to feel the pressure of that clock. Covering the dump in from neutral ice, Travis Martin. Again, I'm not entirely sure. Obviously depends on what happens with Smithtown Hauppauge JV Red in their final game. If the Friars at the win tonight secure the #1 seed. If not, they'll be the #2. Obviously, if Smithtown Hauppauge JV Red only get a point or lose their next game, Friars will be the 1 seed. And we'll have a first-round matchup against Sachem. Coincidentally, the last team they lost to was Sachem in overtime. Inga wrestles the puck away from Lawler. Inger puts the Jets on, cuts in. Colin Inga on the backhand. Great effort to come back by Lawler, and he ends up in his own goal between the legs of Brandon Huber. But great recovery here from Nicholas Lawler. Doesn't give up on the play. Notices there's a wide stick and never really settled the puck down entirely, did Colin Inga. Either way, great defensive effort from one of the captains on this St. Anthony's JV Black squad. Laid off the bench into the play, Andrew Lemaire for East Islip. So we approach 1:30 to go in the third period. East Islip get on the board. Well, looking too little too late here tonight. Blaschuk tries to spring, fries him. Welter looking to clear. Reynolds, great receive of the puck. Emmett Reynolds into the zone with speed, stood up by Palladino. And now Daniel Munch down the boards. Munch And Brian fries them come together. Blaschuk chips around. Final 45 seconds here in the third period. St. Anthony JV Black with just 2 blemishes on their record this season, set to improve to 18-1-1 and in the driver's seat for the first seed in the playoffs. Reynolds' a shot goes wide. And the Friars varsity team defeating Smithtown Hauppauge, becoming back-to-back Suffolk County High School Hockey League champions. It was ESM who won the JV title a season ago. Did not have enough players to make a varsity team this season. It's really quite unfortunate. We will have a new JV champion this year, guaranteed. And the Friars JV Black team, certainly one of the favorites to do so and be champions at the end of the season and the playoffs. For now, they have done basically everything you can do in the regular season. 18-1-1, 4-1 victory tonight over East Islip. And East Islip despite beating St. Anthony JV Black 7-1 earlier this year, they do drop this one 4-1. They drop to 11-6, 1-2 on the year. They will be the number 5 seed. That now is locked in. They will be the road team against Longwood. We're 12-5 and 2, those two being ties. Longwood and East Islip this year. East Islip beat Longwood on February the 25th, 4-3, and they tied Longwood 3-3 on November the 10th. It will be an excellent first-round matchup between the Chiefs and the Lions. While St. Anthony JV Black, if they are the 1 seed, will play Sachem in the first round. Sachem with an overtime loss, Sachem with an overtime win against St. Anthony's, giving them their only overtime loss this year. That is the first round matchup if the Friars are in fact the number 1 seed, with playoffs right around the corner. Here you could find them only on LI Sports Network. And on behalf of our cameraman, Wally Mitchell, I am Ryan Brownigan, saying so long till next time. As always, have a good night.